is good, YouTube, fight fans all over the world. Real talk, I'm back. Manny Pacquiao says that he wants not one, but 2 fights in 2021. How should he go about it? Who should he fight? What should happen? Well, there's a lot of things that go along with this. Now, because he's had a significant time out of the ring, I say he needs a tune-up fight before he fights Errol Spence or whoever, top welterweight out there. Because it's going on almost 2 years. And that's a while to be out of the ring. So, a tune-up fight, and who should he fight? Now, it can't just be any regular Joe Schmo. It has to be a contender that the Boxing Association will sanction. And he has some options. He has a real young, strong, up-and-coming lion and by the name of Conor Benn. If you don't know who Conor Benn is, he is the son of Nigel Benn. And he is explosive. Fights with a lot of tenacity and vigor. But I don't think he's experienced enough to hang in there with Manny Pacquiao. But that's actually better for Pacquiao as a tune-up fight. Mikey Garcia said he would get in there with him. It's, talked about getting in there with Manny Pacquiao. But I hear Mikey is like ballooned up. They say Mikey's fat. So he would probably be spending the better part of his camp just trying to lose the weight, which is still in Manny Pacquiao's favor. Then you have Keith Thurman rematch, which I don't want to see. And I'm speaking for myself, but I can imagine a lot of other people out there don't want to see that fight either. So, and he probably has some more options out there, but one of those would be, good. I'm going to X out Keith Thurman. Nobody wants to see that. But, who we left with? And I would lean more towards Mikey because that's the bigger name. There's a lot more money involved when you mix those two names together than you would with Conor Benn. And Mikey's still dangerous, regardless if he's blown up to a fat guy and is gonna spend the better part of his camp losing weight. It's still an advantage for Manny Pacquiao, but it is still a risk. So I honestly want to see Manny Pacquiao retire. I really, really do. As we all know, Manny Pacquiao has the WBA belt, and he could vacate that belt if he wanted to. But why? Now, Manny Pacquiao can still fight one of the top welterweights, being Spence or Crawford, without a WBA belt and still get the fight because that's a name that these guys want on their resume anyway. But it's icing on top of the freaking cake with the belt too. So why vacate the belt? Just keep it. I want to see Manny Pacquiao fight 2 times in 2001, but I really want him to retire. Because make no mistake about it, Manny Pacquiao is the top dog in the welterweight division. Now, let me explain what I just said, because we got a lot of y'all out there that just, I swear. Here's why I say Manny Pacquiao is the top dog. Now, when I say top dog, I don't mean that he's the best welterweight out there. He's the top dog because he's an 8-division world champion. He has a belt. And he's the cash cow. None of the top elite welterweights can fight anyone else and make the money that they would fighting Manny Pacquiao. That's why I say he's the top dog. They all want him. They want him bad. They want him so bad they can taste him. So, regardless of what anybody says, he's the top dog. Is he the best welterweight out there? No. Honestly, I think it's Terrence Crawford. My personal opinion. I think it's Terrence Crawford. And I think he would fare better against Errol Spence than he would Terrence Crawford. I have a gut feeling Terrence Crawford will get him out of there. I really do. If you look at it, Errol Spence so far has shown 2 different levels. He can box and he can break you down. He doesn't move his head a whole heck of a lot. He stays stationary a whole lot too. But he pretty much breaks his fighters down. You have to outwork Errol Spence. And I think Manny Pacquiao will do that. I really think Manny Pacquiao could beat Errol Spence and vice versa. But should they fight after he fights a tune-up fight, should he win that fight, I believe he'll beat Errol Spence. I think Manny Pacquiao should stay away from Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford has many, many levels. And I see him countering Manny Pacquiao, much like Juan Manuel Marquez did just earlier, but in the same grand fashion. Stay away from Crawford. Get you a tune-up fight. Fight Spence. You're putting your WBA up against his IBF and WBC. And retire out a unified welterweight champion. And if you want to, should you beat Errol Spence, fight Crawford. And you may be retiring defeated. Crawford taking all them belts. Because I have a gut feeling that Crawford could very well beat Manny Pacquiao. I think he's too dangerous for Manny Pacquiao to fight before he fights Errol Spence. But that's just my personal opinion. Listen, y'all, Manny Pacquiao, regardless of how old he is still dangerous and he can still fight. Yes, things are different in his older age. Age brings about change. But he's still beating younger fighters. Regardless of the fact that he's been out of the ring almost 2 years. Manny gets you a tune-up and then goes straight to Errol Spence. Straight to him. Beeline. That's my opinion, and that's what I would do if I was Manny Pacquiao. But I'm not Manny Pacquiao, and he can do what he wants. I just think it's the smartest and the most strategic way to become unified, and hopefully he will retire in 2021. Because I like Manny. He's a good dude and a great champion. Never mind my personal opinion. What is yours? Comment down below and let me know. Real Talk Boxing, we gone.